Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lala and I'm on a mission to lose 88 pounds. This is my official second weigh-in of 2026. And honestly, I have a lot of thoughts, I have a lot of feelings, I have a lot of questions. Quick background so this all makes sense. I unintentionally took about a 3-month break into my weight loss journey. Girl, what the fuck? I know. Girl, how does that happen unintentionally? Life happened, okay? I had more on my plate than usual. My routines fell apart, and somewhere in there, my weight loss journey just paused. But I'm back, and this time I'm making sure my health does not take the back seat. No matter how busy life gets, health needs to be a priority. So before that break, I was almost in the 170s. I weighed 180.6 pounds. After the holidays, less activity and not tracking my food the way I was, my first weigh-in this year came in at 187.1 pounds. So, are you ready for today's weigh-in? I'm scared to tell you guys. Today, I weighed in at 193.5 pounds. 193.5 pounds. And I'm not going to lie, my first reaction was, what the actual fuck? Because my food has been on point more than ever before. I am making sure I am in a calorie deficit every fucking day. I'm moving more. I'm training with intention. I even increased my daily steps from the 8,000 was my goal to now 10,000 steps, and I'm hitting that with no problem. So in my head, I was like, okay, maybe some of this is holiday regain. Okay, stop being in denial. Maybe some of this is holiday regain. But why does it feel like my body is literally holding on to everything? That sent me down a research spiral, guys. I was freaking out. When I started looking into body recomp, I kept seeing the same thing over and over. So when you start or change resistance training, or focus heavily on glutes and lower body, slowing your reps down, actually prioritizing mind muscle connection, that has seriously they've transformed my workouts. The way I work out feels so different. So I as I'm doing this research, all of this is making sense, right? Your muscles basically respond by holding on to water while they adapt and, are going through the recovery process. Inflammation from muscle repair, increased glycogen storage, and just adjustment. And a lot of people were saying this can show up as little as 5 pounds to even 8 pounds on the scale, which is freaking wild, but also exactly where I'm feeling it. My hips, my thighs, my legs. And just to make the timing even better, my period is starting in a couple days. So we all know we can add a few pounds of water weight on its own. So now I've got training inflammation, hormonal water retention, I guess, and a recent return to exercising, all happening at the same time. Cool. My brain is loving that. What's confusing though is that underneath all of that, before I even did my measurements, I was asking the hubster, like, do I look like I'm slimming down a little bit? Because I'm feeling like I am. So that number again is really throwing me off. My clothes are feeling different. I'm just feeling tighter. So yeah, it's been a major mindfuck, and I need more data than just the scale, right? So I went back to my little tracking spreadsheet and looked at my measurements, and I couldn't believe that the last time that I measured myself was in September 2025. What the fuck is wrong with me? So I realized that I didn't even re-measure myself when I restarted my weight loss journey. So I measured myself on January 29th because I'm dumb and forgot to do it earlier. So I remeasured again this morning, and I'm going to be very honest here, compared to September, in January, I had gained inches back. I gained 3¼ inches back in my waist, 2½ inches back in my hips, 1¾ inches in my thighs, 1¾ inches in my arms. And that was hard to see, guys. I'm not pretending that didn't happen, but here's what's interesting. Between January 29 and today, February 16, just a couple weeks, I've already dropped most of it. I'm almost back at my September measurements in several areas. And I also wanted to compare, so January 29 compared to February 16 today. So neck went down 1/4 inch. My right arm lost 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch. My waist, I lost 2½ inches. So I'm back down to 36½, almost there, close to September. My hips, I gained 3/4 inches. I lost 1 inch off of my left thigh, 3/4 inches, 3/4 inch on my right thigh, and I gained 1/2 inch in each of my calves. And in a couple areas like my hips and calves, I'm slightly up, which actually makes sense because I've been working, heavily focusing on glutes and lower body for my workouts. So when I zoom out of my weight loss journey, what I'm seeing isn't everything is getting worse. What I'm seeing is some real regain during my break, let's be honest. A spike when I restarted training, and now my body, I think, is starting to regulate based on the measurements, okay? So the scale says 193.5, but my measurements are not screaming massive fat gain, right? They're, I guess, screaming adjustment phase. I think this is where that whoosh happens with body recomp. People tend to plateau for a few weeks, sometimes a few months, and then suddenly a whoosh happens on the scale where, the scale's finally catching up to what truly is going on with your body. So for now, I'm not changing anything. I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to cut more calories. I'm not switching up my workouts. I'm staying consistent, drinking my water, and letting my body adapt. If this is recomp and inflammation and hormones, overlapping, then the worst I can do is panic right now, right? So I just need to take a step back, continue doing what I'm doing. And then if I don't see anything changing in like a month or so, then I'll go ahead and make some changes. So I'm choosing patience right now, even when it's uncomfortable, okay? The hardest part. This part of the journey isn't glamorous. It's not a big drop on the scale. It's not instant gratification. It's the messy, ugly middle. And I promised myself I would show all of it to you guys, not just the highlight reels, right? I want you guys to see everything. So if you're in a phase like this right now too, you're not going crazy and you're definitely not alone. And I'll keep you updated. I'll keep measuring, we'll keep watching the data and adjust as needed, and we'll see what happens next. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching. Let's hit all our goals this week. And hey, I started a Discord. I'm sharing food, workouts. I am posting my daily steps on there just to keep myself kind of accountable. Join me if you need an accountability buddy, okay? And we can share, stuff. But anywho, thanks again. See you guys.